Welcome to your Daily 5 for Monday, July 14th, 2025. If you went onto the internet at all last week, you likely were unable to avoid some type of mention of Prime Day, which I think was actually several days. I think it was 3 or 4 days long, which of course is, well, I shouldn't say of course, you may not know what Prime Day is. I envy you if you don't, but Prime Day is something that's been around well over a decade at this point, but I don't think they started the first couple years that Amazon really started to pick up traction as something other than a bookseller, but it was pretty quick, where initially it was a day or two. I don't know if it was kind of drafting off of Cyber Monday. I think it was, but I don't remember. But it would be these day or two of specialized sales, very similar to a Black Friday type of sale or some kind of deep discount day sale at a store or whatever, where you would be able to get better deals than usual on products on Amazon. In the early days, it was usually an array of products. And so, of course, naturally, within, if not the same year, within a year or two of that thing starting, you would see articles on websites, and you'd see it on the news and all over the place about what are the best and worst deals on Prime Day. And those actually had a function and provided a service for a while when people were still not really used to shopping online all the time the way we are now, and when Amazon was kind of diversifying and adding things and providing items that some people may not even have thought to look for on the service. And so, like I said, early on, it made a lot of sense. And a lot of people, like myself, would check those articles and see if there was anything that we might have forgotten about or were surprised it was on sale or had a unique discount applied. But honestly, I don't think I've bought something on Prime Day in at least 6 or 7 years. And I just happened to last week, I was curious, so I went to a couple of different articles from these places just to see what now Prime Day looks like in terms of what people think is the best stuff. And really unsurprisingly, it's just junk. And in many cases, a lot of these articles are literally just a list of all the products that Amazon makes. Their Echo line, some of their essential stuff, which be really careful what you buy from Amazon Essentials, especially if it's something that has electrical components, like, say, a power strip or a extension cord. I wouldn't advise doing it. There's many reasons I dumped all the Amazon hardware in my house. That was one of them. It just sucked. But most of these lists were 90% just Amazon junk, stuff that they themselves are selling directly. And there was really nothing in terms of a compelling deal anywhere. And it made me think about it because many of them looked like they were the exact same article. So I wonder what the value is. I mean, I'm sure there is some measure of traffic that's generated by this, but I don't know anybody now in my actual life that I talk to who buys anything on Prime Day anymore, because basically there's sales online at every possible outlet there could ever be. So are they really generating that much traffic? I mean, I'm sure there's some percentage uptick, but is it significant? Some of these articles almost felt like they didn't even want to be written, where some of the things were prefacing that, you probably don't need to actually buy anything, but if you do, here's the list, which is sort of a weird framework to position your article in, where we don't really think this is worth even reading, but here it is. Maybe there's an SEO element to that or something else, but it does not feel like most of these articles were really actually intended to help anybody. And I just think, okay, somebody, unless you're using a tool to generate it, which could explain why some of them seem so familiar, but even there, it doesn't seem like it's really worth the effort. Prime Day itself doesn't seem like it's really worth the effort anymore. And like I said, I haven't bought anything off there in a while, and I really can't think of anybody who did, unless it was an accidental coincidence that they needed something from Amazon that just so happened to coincide with it being Prime Day. And so I wonder if these are just auto-generated slop where they're copying off each other, because if not, if a person actually has to spend time monitoring this, I have seen some YouTube videos on it, which appear to be made by real people, and I sit there and go, why? I mean, I know there's Amazon affiliate and everything, but I don't see that there's really anything. I did watch one that actually did price comparisons, and in that video, the person pointed out that the Prime Day discounts are only really discounts if you compare them to overinflated prices to begin with. And so I have to ask again, why does anybody bother? Is there actually a material value to? Actually, here's a question for anybody who's listening to this. Have you seen any of these articles that provided anything tangibly worthwhile in reading them? Because the couple that I looked at sure didn't seem to be. So I sit there and think, is this just routine? Because otherwise, I can't see what they're getting out of this. So just thought I'd ask. Later.